celebrated at the University of Rwanda, College of Science and Technology. It's about the World Environmental Day, and its main focus are giving a human face to environmental issues, empowering people to become active agents of sustainable and equitable development. People by here and others will be a source of inspiration to others. They will meet today, tomorrow, and the days after. Being here is a pleasure to me to open up this event and let our famous presenters come here in front and show their presentations in relation with the World Environmental Day, 7 billion trees, 1 planet, and also
So my presentation is just related to a paper which I published some years ago on wind energy. As you know, the problem we are facing in the world, especially in Africa and Rwanda, particularly is the access to electricity. And this is causing, and in general in rural areas, remote rural areas, this is causing environmental problems, like pollution, which is caused by the fact that the population are using charcoal or wood energy, which is producing a spread of gases which are polluting the atmosphere, causing a greenhouse effect. The other consequence is that, in some families, people they are cooking inside their house using woods. This also is causing some health problems, some cancer. And in general, the problem we are having in Rwanda, even in urban areas, is the stability of electricity. So we try to look into various sources of energy which can increase the capacity of the country to produce, to satisfy the population. So here we look into our environment, we try to find different solutions. The potential of wind energy in Rwanda is very, very low, except in the places which are close to the lake, as I said, in Gisenyi. You can find some few, like between 10 and 12 megawatts. It's possible to install a windmill for just a small community or a hospital, but you don't have such enough energy like what is existing in Holland or in other places where they are close to the sea. But this study was done also, you have to know the role of, it's important that the scientists also play a big role to advise the policy makers. As you saw at the beginning, I said this study was done at the time the Minister of Infrastructure was hiring a big team to come and invest in wind energy in Rwanda. And this study helped the Ministry of Infrastructure to stop that. So when the paper was published, it was sent to the ministry just to alert them that they were involved in something which is completely wrong. Yeah. That is the role also of a scientist, as Pete said. This Center for Biodiversity is there to help give advice to policymakers and try to alert them to avoid some mistakes.
current generation need to think about future generations. So sustainability is using current natural resources, but also thinking about our grandchildren, who will also need those resources. So that is why we say iterambere rirambye. So you are not familiar with that, but that is almost 30 years old. Yeah. Why all these laws about sustainability, sustainable livelihood? This concept is now used about poverty alleviation, to see what can be done to alleviate poverty for people, especially in developing countries. Initially, development projects were based on direct impact on the poor. Now things have changed.
Due to the high number of harmful and habitatous microorganisms people use and are still using the site for the protection. Some parasites, however, present side bad effect on the non-targeted living things, and furthermore, some microorganisms become resistant on those biocide uses. Thus, in the responsibility of scientists, especially chemists, we have to work hard in order to discover new biocides which are less toxic to the environment. So nowadays, our environment is highly deteriorated by different fuels.
Myself, I want further and look at whether they influence the biodiversity. And we have used insect as an indicative species. We found that some species conserve better insects. Some species of eucalyptus conserve better insect diversity in comparison to native species.
Plants also play a big role in indigenous people's livelihood. Also, plants are used to treat different diseases as HIV, AIDS. Even if they use those medicinal plants, but there is also a need to know those medicinal plants, how they can conserve them, how they can domesticate them. The study was conducted in 5 districts of Eastern Province, Bugesera, Gatsibo, Kayonza, Homa, and Nyagatare.
What is your position now towards conservation and the use of plants as for medicinal purposes? Thanks.
Focus on research and the education of biodiversity conservation and environmental sustainability in Rwanda. It was founded by biologists and conservationists with background studying biodiversity conservation in the UR, University of Rwanda, basically biology department. Now, based as other activities such as to build capacity and conservation education, and to raise awareness of environmental issues and solutions to different projects, stakeholders, to educate people around threatened ecosystems, to ensure sustainable use of natural resources, encourage efforts of scholars and academic learners through workshops and discussions, participate in meetings, workshops, conferences, and festivities organized with partners. Now, our mission
is a scientific opinion in the context of
environmental safeguard and protected areas resources management. It is not just a literature review nor a systematic research, but it was formed from critical observations. But the observations were connected somehow on research studies that were being conducted. They inspired me with more thinking about research intervention to be encouraged in the future. Because I observed it was the cutting of young trees as tutors in agriculture, but there was no picture for this event. And at Gisakura, I observed the threats that were occurring in the interface between tea and the natural forest.
Their needs, depositing fetches here and there, are a cause of spreading of a number of diseases. This is a problem. Second, the water resource is harmed because of bad practices so through diverse areas around protected areas. Third, you can say that it is obvious that general people have very low awareness about biodiversity.
How the community can be engaged into the conservation, and how can we understand the conservation concept? By using the image, for example, like the binocular. When you use the binocular, you can see things far away from you. That's why when we use images, I can see what is happening in the Volcano National Park, but I'm not there. If you want to, every day they are talking about the conservation of gorillas, but how many among you have been there in National Park? But once you observe the picture, maybe it increases your respect toward the gorilla, because even you can see it. It means that when you see something, when we are using the image, it is easier to understand the concept. For example, this is the chimpanzee. I know some of you have never seen the chimpanzee, but when you see the chimpanzee there, something just comes up to your mind.
You see the body of a killed chimpanzee, and the young is close in such a position, indicating she is very sorry, that it is very sorry. And you write down to the image the chimpanzee reproduces after 12 years and once every 3 years. And killing one, simple one, let's say chimpanzee, will affect deeply or for a long time the community or the group. And this is something that will make people think, oh, we may protect those chimpanzees because they are a threat.
As I told you before, this is an introduction to our project. We made a project on waste management, and we are still waiting for the implementation. It is already selected, and we are still waiting for the presentation. As you know, our government is emphasizing much on environmental awareness and waste management through different policies and programs, For instance, according to the Vision 2020, it said that at least 80% of Rwandan population will have easy access to adequate waste management system. One of the goals of EDPRS. In waste management, we emphasize environmental awareness and sustainable use of natural resources as well as ecosystem service by reducing environmental impact. Moreover, through partnership between environmental clubs and the campus, the follow-up will be done to ensure the sustainability of collaborated activities. By doing the project, we had some evidences. This is, for instance, a landfill located near Miserere Hotel. Just went there and we found this kind of mixture of waste, and then we said, why can't we raise the voice in waste management, especially in separating biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste? So we are collaborating with everybody to raise the awareness in conservation. You are almost welcome, and we need your support in environmental conservation. Especially we need your support to RUCCB and the road ahead.
So you know that we are now celebrating the World Environment Day. Which activities are you planning to join all the world to celebrate the World Environment?
Okay. Normally at the beginning of this week, we have got fund from RDB. We went to Nungwe National Park for capacity building. That is one of activities.
So what is white? You all know. So it's not new for you. It has been established by the UN General Assembly in 1972, and it's like a tool to raise awareness about climate change and pledge and call upon people, communities to do something positive environmental action. The 7 billion dreams. So the population, the current population, we are about 7 billion in the world, and we are all sharing the same planet. The resources are limited, so we have to consume with care. So that's the theme of this year. So it's about raising awareness on the importance of sustainable production and consumption of resources, and change our lifestyle so that we reduce our environment footprints. So why sustainable consumption and production? Yeah, it's because when we develop ourselves, when we develop our cities, when we develop our countries, we need resources. So we take resources from the earth, and then we make products, and as well waste. So we are polluting and we are withdrawing resources, so resources are diminishing. So we are not increasing resources, but we are depleting resources. So we need to consume with care. And we also have to pay attention on what kind of waste we are creating, and the effects, the impact on our environment. So when we produce and when we consume what we have produced, we are creating impact on our environment, and as a consequences, we have so many consequences. Most of them are negative. Okay, we have positive impact, but we also have negative. Among those negative, we have climate change, we have pollution, we have resource depletion, we have biodiversity loss, food crisis, water crisis, threat to health. We can also have some conflict between countries because of those resources. So we can, this is just a few among many. So when we consume, when we produce, so we are creating impact on our environment. So here we have many products that we consume. We have food, we have electronics, we have means of transport, we have water, we have mines. So most of our activities are impacting our environment. So we need to think and pay attention and see what kind of impact and how can we mitigate them, if possible avoid them. So
we need to take the message into the form that is easy to understand by the people, or that makes sense. I'm for research, but we have got a lot of numbers and figures that the environment is a challenge. And I don't know how much we still need so that we kind of think of behavior change. We have a lot of figures and scary figures, but on the policy making, it looks there is still a gap. And sometimes it doesn't matter the message, but who brings the message. I've personally worked on southern part of Sweden as a case, where we brought the same message to the mayor of the district and the same message to the archbishop of the south. So it was about conservation and sorting out the garbages at home. Then the finding was, people say if the message is brought by my pastor, my priest, my imam, I don't have to think twice. Then I think we need also to involve more actors than just finding and putting much in research and findings, which is fine and good to have figures, but we may end up by having really a nice bank of data, which is useless. People need to see why should I change? Why should I use this and why? So whenever I don't understand why, bringing findings and whatever will not make sense. So my opinion is that we involve more policymakers, but also more actors. Why a mayor calls a meeting in Rwanda and they have to use force to bring people, but when it is a crusade or a mass from a pastor or a bishop, Catholic, people come running and they spend the whole day without eating. So my point is the environmental message is clear and it is there, and I don't know at which extent. I've been reading the Stockholm Resilience Centers. They put up what they call planetary boundaries about the danger zone and what has been transgressed and whatever. So it's really scary, but unless we use media, as he said, to show people the danger, but we may end up by fooling ourselves as researchers in university that the more we get into research and identify things will work. But I think we have read enough. Then we need also to pump money and the resources into bringing the message, and the message that makes sense. I don't have to understand the number of CO2 or calories I take a day, but if my pastor tells me that eating the red meat is bad and is harming my body and the God is not happy, then I will immediately the morning start eating beans. So without questioning how many calories on things. So that's was my contribution, involving more actors. They don't have necessarily to be scientifically based, but more even emotional to change the behavior as we have been talking about. because we have the Brutland, as he said, Dr. Emmanuel, report from more than 20 years. But it's still that it looks that we are still focusing on the current generation. We don't care about the future generation.
Where we're going to go and consume more, but maybe we'll be more conscious about what we eat for lunch. I just want to give a very, very brief overview of what happened today because I found it really exciting to hear from everybody. We heard about alternative energy sources, wind, power, sustainability, and natural capital, natural biocides and essential oils, medicinal plants and biodiversity. We heard from initiatives coming out of graduates of master's programs here, students that created NGOs to tackle some of the problems we have, initiatives from bachelor students, and we had here represented chemistry, geography, physics, biology, and social sciences, and I'm sorry if I missed some other departments here, but I think that's really exciting that all this group came together over the common theme that is coming out of World Environment Day. And I really want to thank the speakers and everyone that was here listening and asking questions and dialoguing. I want to thank greatly you too that came down here and honored us with your presence and really are the ones that help bring us together. And I hope you have a great afternoon and a great World Environment Week. Thank you.
Irutingabo Ange nkora muri Rema mu ishami rishinzwe kwigisha no gucengeza ibidukikije muri gahunda z'igihugu. Nk'abashinzwe uturere n'abaturage mu bijyanye no kubakangurira mu bijyanye no kurengera ibidukikije. Tukaba twaratangiye icyumweru cyo gutangiza icyumweru cy'ibidukikije. Muri iki cyumweru rero cyahariwe ibidukikije akaba haratangiwe umuganda wabaye ku itariki ya 30 z'ukwa gatanu gutangiza icyumweru cy'ibidukikije kuva tariki ya mbere kugeza ku itariki 4 z'ukwa gatandatu. Habayeho ibikorwa byo kujya mu mashuri ya universite na secondaire tuvuga kuri ku nsanganyamatsiko y'uyu mwaka yo gufata neza umutungo kamere. Nyuma ku itariki ya 5 nyirizina ari umunsi wo kwizihiza umunsi mpuzamahanga w'ibidukikije. Umunsi uzabera mu karere ka Rutsiro mu murenge wa Mukura aho tuzabungabunga ishyamba rya Mukura dukora ibikorwa bijyanye no gukorera ibiti no gusiba ibyobo biba byarakorewemo ubucukuzi bw'amabuye y'agaciro.